Hello, and if you're here after my last YouTube video, I feel like I should ask why haven't you given up on me yet? And if you're not and you just ended up falling on this, hi, my name's Anya, and I still don't know why I'm talking to a camera. I seriously don't know why I wanted to do that, that's really weird. Anyway, hello, I decided to bring something that a lot of people asked me. Because I taught myself Spanish when I was younger, and I taught myself English when I was way too old to learn English. A lot of my friends ask me how to learn a language on your own if you can't afford a course, which was my case, or if you really don't have the patience to follow a school schedule, which is also my case. Now today I'm going to bring you a few tips. I'm going to try to make it to 10, but I don't know if I'm going to get there. And if you've watched my last video, I think I did mention learning it on my own. I don't know, I haven't edited it yet, I might have cut it out. We'll find out once I finish it. I feel like this works for any language. So my method was completely throwing myself in the language. So the first thing that I did was change my phone to English. I did not do that with my computer. I'm going to explain more in a second. Oh wow, look at that. You notice that this side has way more hair than this side. I'm trying to stop parting my hair in the middle so it stops breaking, but I definitely cannot do it yet. I changed my phone because we usually don't have a lot of technical difficulties with our phone. Let's say you're trying to learn Portuguese, because some people are crazy enough to do that. And then you know that you learn that settings in Portuguese is configurações because you have it on your phone. You learn like simple vocabulary stuff by doing that. On a computer, I wouldn't advise doing it because computers have a lot of problems. Every now and then something like a warning pops up, and if you're not really good at the language yet, you're not going to know what's written, you're not going to know what to do. And they usually block your screen so you can't click it to like quickly change the language to do that. So I wouldn't advise doing that on your computer, but I definitely advise you to do that on your phone. Second tip is focus more on vocabulary than grammar. I can't say that you're gonna be completely fine, but I feel like someone will understand you better if you say I is hunger, because you know that hunger means hunger and I means I, and is a form of the to be verb than they would if you would say I am yum 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 yum, because you don't know the word for hungry. So I'd say focus on vocabulary first and then you start worrying about grammar, because honestly, when we're very little babies, we're gonna ask for food and we're gonna ask for mama. We're not gonna have the whole sentence, but they're going to understand us anyway, because the first thing we learn, well, yes, is the sound of words, but then you learn vocabulary. My third tip is mostly pronunciation, but also grammar and just general conversation. Do not practice single words. Well, obviously you do, especially if you have a word that you cannot pronounce right. I tried practicing words that I had problem with a lot. It's more important that you try and practice sentences. And it's not just so you can memorize certain sentences. I would say, start practicing hi, how are you? Hi, nice to meet you. That kind of sentence that you're going to say a lot probably together in the same way. I wouldn't say that you need to memorize sentences just so they are ready. I would say that you need to practice sentences so you know intonation. You learn how to connect words together. For example, I would say at it, but when you're speaking faster, I would say at it probably, or I wouldn't say at it, I wouldn't say the T at the end at all. I would say him as a word, as in a sentence, I would say let him be, and I wouldn't say the H at all. And I feel like practicing words together in a sentence, the sentence doesn't really need to make sense. It just helps you, connecting words, so when you speak, you're not like, I went to the fair today. You know how to actually put a sentence together, and you can actually say I went to a fair today. Tip number 1, I think it's 4, and I hope it is, or else I'm gonna have an extra, or I'm gonna be missing one, and I hope I'm not missing one. It's always better to have more than less. For vocabulary as well, you can use post-its. Stick a post-it on a door that says, door or porta, whatever language that you're learning. Put one on the chair, one on your computer. Don't put one on your phone, because it's probably gonna fall off as soon as you get to it. But you get the picture. It's gonna help you memorize stuff, but you're not even gonna pay attention to that really, because it's just gonna be so obvious in your face. I'm filming that on the floor and my legs are really hurting. Ow. Tip number 5, talk to yourself. I feel like my English sounds better from whispering, because I practice a lot by whispering. I used to share my room, I could not speak loud when people were sleeping and stuff, so I just whisper to myself and talk things. I don't know, pretend I was giving an interview or something, did something really amazing, and then I would just, explain to an imaginary audience how I did it and why I did it. It really helps me actually get my English out. It also helped with Spanish, but when I learned Spanish, I was very little. Well, not little, but I was way younger, and I didn't really think about not waking people up, so I'd be singing around house. And that's tip number 6, sing. The thing I did when I learned English, and I also did it when I learned Spanish, all the books that I read were in English, or the songs that I listened to were in English, or the films that I watched were in English. That really helped me get into the language. So I would suggest that. Find a song that you like. If you can't think of one because that language is completely new and you don't know any artist, just go, I don't know, Yahoo Answers or something, and actually just Google it. You're probably gonna find it. Singers that sing in, I don't know, Italian, and you're gonna find the songs, you're gonna play one on YouTube and find the lyrics to it and just read it as you learn it, and then you're gonna start singing. You're gonna practice a lot of your pronunciation. You're gonna learn a lot of new words. It's gonna really help you. Tip number 7 is a 7. I'm hoping it's 7. Just throw yourself out there. Don't do like me and move to London. Actually, yes, move to London. London's amazing. Don't do that at first. You're probably gonna get really lost. If you actually want to throw yourself in a language, but without really going to the country, start watching films in the language that you want to learn and read books that you really want to read, okay? In the language that you want. At the time that I was learning English, I was really into Pretty Little Liars. So I got the first 8 books in English. When I was reading the first one, I couldn't understand a thing except the pronouns and the to be verb, because that is the only thing that they teach us at school here. But by the time I was at the 8th, I could understand full sentences, because at the same time that I was reading, I was trying to write things down, which is my next tip. We're gonna get there. But I was reading and I was listening to music, and all the songs that I listened to were in English, and all the films that I watched were in English. And actually, people say, well, watch it first with the subtitles in your language, then change the subtitles to the language that the film is in, and then take the subtitles off. I didn't have the patience for that. I can't watch things on repeat, so I just turned the subtitles off and I just tried to watch it, and it ended up working. At first I couldn't understand a thing, but again, you're reading things that you want to read, if you're watching films that you want to watch, you're actually going to make an effort to pay attention. Next tip number 8, write things down. Start a diary. Write about your day. Today I went to the supermarket, and then I went to school, and then I saw my friend Lisa. Don't write text, don't write like a story, just write sentences, please. Do not try go on Google or like correct yourself. Do not try to be perfect. The idea is that like a month or 2 in, you can go back to the first page and see just how better you've gotten. That keeps you motivated to keep going. And if you don't know a word, then I totally feel like you should go on Google Translate to look up the translation so you can put it there. I would advise first you write down what you think the word is, and then you put a parenthesis and put the actual word in there. That's gonna help you. Another tip that's going to be tip number 9, but if I actually got the maths wrong at the beginning, then that's tip number 8. Do not look up translations. I know it's hard at the beginning especially. Let's say you're reading in Portuguese and you see the word janela and you don't know what it means. Instead of going in Google Translate and putting janela down and finding out that it means window, go and look up que significa janela, which means what does janela mean. And then it's going to tell you that, you know, it's a hole in a wall where light and wind and air comes in. I don't know what the actual definition of window is. I know what a window is, but I don't know what the actual definition is. But you're going to have something like that. You're going to learn what the thing is rather than learning what it translates to, which helps you with not being, oh, I want a cupcake. But wait, how do you say cupcake in Portuguese? How do you say cupcake? Oh, I really want a coffee, but I don't remember what it translates to. And then you go like trying to remember all the translations that you have in your mind. But if you know what a coffee is, then you have absolutely no problem remembering the word. That does not mean that you'll never forget the word. I forget words in my own native language all the freaking time. But it usually helps in just trying to remember the translation of every single word that you know. Tip number 10 is practice it. Talk to yourself, yeah, that's great. But I don't know, go on Omegle. No, don't go on Omegle. I'm sure there are other services where you can just speak to people who speak the language that you're learning. If you're not confident enough to speak yet, you can try writing in a Discord server, an Instagram group chat. Find people that are actually learning the same language as you, and you can both talk on the language. And if you don't know what something means, you couldn't understand something, you can ask the person to define it for you. If you find it easier to have the translation for it, go for it, but please do not ever rely on translation. Learn with someone, it's more fun, which is the only thing I actually miss of a language school, is having people to practice with. But you can find a lot of people on the internet and even on real life that are learning the same language as you. Tip 11, that's just here in case I actually got the maths wrong, so that one becomes number 10. Don't really care about your accent. Having an accent means that you know more than one language, which is really, really cool. Honestly, not many people do. People are not as picky with accents as movies and stuff make it look like. I don't know about English, I've never heard about that. But I feel like if you learn a language from a different country, like if you learn Greek or German, or Russian, or Italian, Japanese, Chinese, I don't know. People are usually very interested and very happy that you're trying to learn the language. So don't really care about your accent, but do care about your pronunciation, because bit, beach, You probably know what I'm trying to get with that. If you don't know the pronunciation, you're gonna end up swearing and people might get very mad. So just be careful. Care about your pronunciation but not about your accent much. And just get yourself out there. Trying to learn a new language, trying to actually put it into practice takes a lot of bravery and a lot of belief in yourself. So you shouldn't be ashamed of not being very good at it. Everyone starts from somewhere. Well, I'd say that's it because my legs are on fire because I've been sitting on top of them for like 20 minutes now. And I'll see you next week.